Welcome to this episode of Wellness by Design. I'm Jane Hogan, the Wellness Engineer, and today I'm going to talk about how I reversed rheumatoid arthritis naturally. Rheumatoid arthritis can feel like a devastating diagnosis, but I'm here to say that it doesn't have to be that way. Helping people reverse rheumatoid arthritis and all chronic pain naturally has become my life's work and my passion now. It's been a while since I told my story and shared what I've learned, and since I last shared how I healed from rheumatoid arthritis, I've actually learned much more about how to reverse rheumatoid arthritis. So, if you or someone you know is suffering from rheumatoid arthritis, or has chronic pain that is stopping them from living life fully, then please share this with them. Because what I really want to share is hope. Reversing rheumatoid arthritis, or pain in general for that matter, doesn't have to be about complicated diets. It doesn't have to be about taking handfuls of expensive supplements, and it doesn't have to be alone or feel overwhelming doing this. I've learned a lot along my journey, and I went through all of those things, and now I know actually that it doesn't have to be like that. How did I get started on this whole journey? Well, first of all, I had a very stressful year back in 2015, and before that I had been healthy all my life, and I ate really well as far as I was concerned. But this stressful year, I wasn't sleeping and just wasn't, I was feeling crappy, and then really suddenly I developed this migrating joint pain, and it was really bad. My shoulder would hurt so badly it would have to go in a sling. And the next day, it was the other shoulder. And my feet hurt so much, I thought, okay, I just need orthotics. So I got them thinking that would help. And then my knees started to swell up so badly that walking was excruciating. And the knuckles in my hands turned purple, and then they started to swell. I couldn't make a fist with my hands, and I had so little grip strength that I would get stuck in the bathroom because I couldn't even turn the door handle. I was in so much pain. It was hard to sleep. And it got worse. It just kept getting worse. And even though what I thought was the stressor in my life was done and over, I kept on getting worse. Of course, I was Googling, because that's what we do, right? And I would go to Google to try to figure out what was going on. And based on my symptoms, the Google searches were pointing to rheumatoid arthritis. I had the classic symptoms of RA. Pain and inflammation tends to be mirrored on both sides. It was in both feet, in both hands, both knees, both shoulders. And the symptoms tended to be worse in the morning and got a little better as the day went on. I suspected rheumatoid arthritis, but nothing was showing up in my blood work. So I didn't have a diagnosis at that point, but I was very scared. Rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune condition. I didn't know anyone with an autoimmune condition that I was aware of anyway. It wasn't in my family. I had no idea how serious autoimmune conditions could be. I had no idea that I was at the age when it was very common for autoimmune conditions to reveal themselves. And also, I didn't know that women are affected more than men. I also read that rheumatoid arthritis gets progressively worse with age, and that if you have one autoimmune condition, you're very likely to get a second and a third, and so on. Very often, autoimmune conditions tend to run in families. And the solution that's commonly offered is medications which come with severe side effects. The medications often work for a while and then stop working. So I wanted to try to not take medications because the side effects really frightened me. And the other thing that was rolling around in my head was that I knew that my trigger was related to stress. If stress had turned it on, then there must be a way to turn it off again. That was my thinking. So I started searching ways to reverse rheumatoid arthritis naturally. And along the way, I found stories of other people that had reversed autoimmune conditions like RA and reversed them naturally. I also found medical doctors, naturopaths, and functional medicine practitioners who had helped other people reverse rheumatoid arthritis naturally. So this gave me hope. It gave me a whole lot of hope. And although I still wasn't diagnosed with RA at that point, I at least felt like there was something I could do to help myself and reverse these symptoms. I knew I had to do something. This joint pain that I had was so bad. I was in tears a lot. I really felt like I didn't have a future to look forward to. I had waited my whole life for these freedom years, and retirement and empty nest years were just around the corner, but I felt like it was all going to be taken away from me because I wasn't going to be able to walk, basically. I was going to be stuck in pain, unable to walk, unable to do all the things I had been looking forward to my whole life. And even though I didn't think I brought this on, I felt like I was letting everyone down. Me, my husband, my kids, my future grandkids, my whole family, my future me. I felt a lot of despair. But when I found these stories of hope, I had hope. And then I made a decision that I was going to do something about this and turn it around. And I was going to figure it out no matter what. And so I'm an engineer. I was still working as an engineer at that time. And engineers naturally are problem solvers. And so I just started problem solving like I would an engineering problem. Brainstorming and experimenting different ideas. I started making changes, and I tracked how these changes affected the pain in my joints. I also tracked what was happening with my weight and my sleep and my energy levels. I collected data and I created graphs and charts just like I did for an engineering problem. And the first thing I changed was food. So I was really lucky to have a family doctor. She's just amazing. And she told me that joint pain could be related to food, and that the three main foods that caused pain in joints were gluten, dairy, and sugar. And at first, I really didn't believe that food could affect joints, but I cut them out cold turkey just because I was in so much pain. I was desperate and willing to try anything. The results amazed me because in just 5 days, the pain had dropped a lot, and I was astounded. I felt like food was the answer. Food is medicine. Food can hurt you, or food can heal. So I went down a whole long road of food. I actually had no idea what I was doing in the beginning. I just removed gluten, dairy, and sugar, and I knew that that helped lower the pain, but I still had pain. It wasn't gone. So then I got the diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis, and although my rheumatologist wanted to try medications, I was encouraged by my early success with food to keep going the natural route as long as I was improving, or at least not getting worse. So continuing with my research, I discovered the autoimmune paleo protocol, AIP for short. I tried AIP for a while. I tried going all plant-based for a while. I tried a whole lot of different things. I was all over the place, to be honest, trying to find the right solution for me. And all this help was helping. Some helped more than others, but I was still in pain. And on top of that, then I started to develop like a bit of a fear of food. I felt like I was sensitive to nearly everything, and I was still worried. Was I doing the right thing? What I didn't know was that the worry I was creating was actually keeping me inflamed. My worries about food were keeping me in a stressed state, and I was also stressed about my self-care. I was stressed about making sleep a priority and staying away from people who caused me stress. Yet I was feeling alone, and I felt like nobody understood what I was going through. What I also didn't realize at the time was that I had carried a whole lot of stress throughout my whole life. I had always tried to be perfect, which is really just a sign of not loving myself enough and not believing in myself enough. I spent my life trying to do it all, and then taking the weight of the world on my shoulders. I had tried to be the best wife, mother, daughter, friend, sister, employee, but I didn't need to hold myself to a standard of perfection. It took me many years to realize that in order to reverse rheumatoid arthritis for good, I had to deal with what was going on inside my head and inside my heart. I had to address what I call my come from, how I thought and felt about myself. Because this was actually the root cause of the stress and the root cause of rheumatoid arthritis, this is what I had to do. I had to go inside and really feel what was going on in my body. At that time, I didn't understand even how to feel emotions in my body, how to feel love, how to feel what confidence really feels like. I came to realize that I was perpetually tense in my core. I was in a constant state of stress. It takes a lot of attention to learn how to release negative emotions and release that stress. But releasing was necessary for healing. Releasing and healing happens as a byproduct. When you release, it's a happy side effect. And this is what I love to talk about now and share on my Jane Hogan Health YouTube channel, Facebook page, Instagram, and all the other platforms. I share it in my Friday Thrive email. I got, obviously, this weekly podcast, Wellness by Design. So if you or someone you know wants to reverse rheumatoid arthritis or has chronic pain, the first thing they need to know is to lower stress, both internal and external. I have a great tool to help called Relief with Peace. It's 3 audios you can listen to help lower your stress so you can lower pain right away. So go ahead and get the audio bundle. It's a great place to start. You can download it for free at go.janehoganhealth.com/audio bundle, all one word. I love to share my tools and share my story. I figure that the more people hear about this, the more people talk about this, the more people will understand that they can become empowered in their health, because it doesn't matter what else you do. It starts with you. Healing starts with your mind, your heart, and your breath. Using these, you can calm yourself down. And when you feel calm, you can heal and begin to release pain. It's so empowering to know that you can be the one that's turning all this around. When someone is losing out on life because they are in pain, whether it's rheumatoid arthritis regular arthritis or any other kind of chronic pain. They just wanted the pain to be over. They want it to end because being in pain stops them from living the life they want to live and the life they're born to live. What I came to realize is that the pain was a calling from my soul, a wake-up call telling me, okay, Jane, it's time to stop the stress. It's time to turn it off and turn your life around, because this is not how life was meant to be. You are meant for greatness. And it's not that I think I'm better than anyone else, because I'm not. I think every one of us is meant for greatness. And although I have a background in science and, as an engineer, I also have a spiritual side. I never grew up with a church, but I always felt like really connected to nature. And I felt like there was this bigger presence, but I just didn't know what it was. Years before rheumatoid arthritis came along, I used to do Tai Chi, and I trained in Reiki, and I practiced meditation sometimes. I had a science side, and I also had this spiritual side as well. But they were two completely separate things in my mind, and they seemed almost in opposition to each other. But what I've come to realize is that science and spirituality are actually perfectly aligned. There is a Canadian physicist. His name is Nassim Haramein, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he says something like, spirituality is just physics we haven't found an equation for yet. So through science, we know that everything is energy, and energy cannot be created or destroyed. And we are actually energy that's compressed in this physical form. But we also have energy outside of us as well. We're more than our physical form. We are spiritual beings and physical beings at the same time. We are a spiritual being that's having a spiritual experience in a physical body. And this all comes together beautifully because as energetic beings, when we have pain and inflammation and illness, disease, any of these things, it's actually showing us that there's energy not flowing. Stress in the body prevents energy from flowing. So to heal, we need to address the energy and get that energy flowing again. There are many ways to get it going, to get this energy flowing. I love to combine the mind, the body, and the breath to do this. And that's where that Relief with Peace audio bundle that I was telling you about before can help. So if you want to give this a try for yourself, use it to integrate the mind, the body, and the breath to help relieve pain. Download it for free at go.janehoganhealth.com/audio bundle. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. I've enjoyed sharing my story with you again, and really the extension of my path and how I realized that I really had to deal with inside feelings and inside emotions and realize that it was energy that was being blocked, and then use tools to get energy going again. And that's the tools that I teach. So thanks very much for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. I'd love to hear any ahas you got from this, and if you know someone that needs to hear this, please share this with them. All right, take care and have a great day.